The Galactic Exploration Federation had been searching for new worlds for centuries. They traveled across the stars, discovering strange planets and ancient ruins. But nothing prepared them for what they would find on Earth. As the alien ships entered the Earth's atmosphere, a sense of wonder filled the crew. The planet looked beautiful from space, with blue oceans and green land. But something about it felt eerie. It was as if the planet was holding its breath, waiting for someone to uncover its secrets. The leader of the mission, Captain Zorak, felt a chill run down his spine. "Prepare to land," he commanded. "We need to see what lies beneath this beauty." The aliens touched down in a large area covered with thick trees and plants. They stepped out of their ships and were immediately struck by the silence. It was too quiet. Zorak raised his scanner, and a holographic map appeared in front of him. It showed that there were ruins nearby, hidden deep in the forest. "Let's go," he said, excitement and curiosity in his voice. The team moved through the dense trees, the sound of leaves crunching under their feet. As they approached the ruins, they stumbled upon old stone structures covered in vines. These were the remnants of a once great civilization, humanity. "Look at this," one of the crew members exclaimed, pointing to a large wall covered in strange symbols. "These must be their writings." The aliens carefully examined the symbols, trying to decipher their meanings. Some were beautiful drawings of animals and plants, while others were strange and frightening. They realized that these humans were not just primitive beings, they had a rich culture and history. But where had they gone? Why was the planet now empty? As they explored further, the team discovered broken machines and rusted vehicles. They looked like nothing they had ever seen before. "These must have been their tools for war," Zorak said, frowning. "But where are the machines that fought? They must have had powerful weapons." Just then, one of the crew members shouted, "Over here! I think I found something!" The team rushed over to see what he had discovered. Hidden behind a thick wall of vines was a large metal door. It looked ancient, but strangely intact. "This looks important," Zorak said, heart racing with excitement. They examined the door, and it had a strange device next to it. The aliens were unsure how to open it. Zorak took a step back and said, "We need to be careful. We don't know what's inside." The crew decided to scan the door and the device with their advanced technology. Suddenly, a holographic image appeared showing a map of an underground bunker. "This is incredible," one crew member shouted. "There are warships down there. Look at this!" The map showed a hidden chamber filled with what looked like ancient war machines. Zorak's eyes widened. "We need to go down there. This could be the key to understanding what happened to the humans." The crew made their way to the entrance of the bunker, using their tools to clear away the vines and dirt. The door creaked open, revealing a dark hallway. The air was cool and filled with the smell of old metal. As they entered, their lights illuminated the walls, revealing even more symbols and drawings. Zorak felt a mix of fear and excitement. "Stay close," he ordered. "We don't know what we might find." They moved deeper into the bunker, and soon they reached a large chamber. What they saw took their breath away. Before them stood rows of massive warships, lined up as if waiting for their pilots to return. The ships were beautifully designed, with sleek lines and powerful engines. Zorak could hardly believe his eyes. "These are incredible," he whispered. "This is what the humans built." But as he examined the ships, a thought crossed his mind. If these ships are still here, then could the humans still be out there? The crew looked at each other, sensing the weight of his words. They had come to discover the past, but now they wondered if they had awakened something that should have remained hidden. In that moment, they realized that their journey had just begun. They had uncovered the remnants of a forgotten civilization, and it was only a matter of time before the secrets of Earth revealed themselves. As the crew of the Galactic Exploration Federation stood in awe of the ancient warships, a mixture of excitement and unease filled the air. Captain Zorak stepped closer to the nearest ship, his heart pounding with anticipation. "We need to understand how these ships work," he said, looking at his team. "Let's begin our examination." The aliens moved carefully, scanning the ships with their advanced tools. The machines looked like they had been untouched for centuries, but they felt powerful and alive. One crew member, a young alien named Rila, pointed at a control panel on the ship. "I think I can access the ship's systems," she said, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Zorak nodded. "Do it, Rila, but be careful. We don't know what we might wake up." Rila approached the panel, her fingers dancing across the buttons. As she worked, the lights on the ship began to flicker. The crew watched in awe as the ship responded to her commands. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air and the ship's engine roared to life. "What's happening?" another crew member shouted, stepping back in fear. Rila gasped as the control panel lit up, revealing a holographic screen. It showed maps of stars, battle plans, and a warning: human war fleet activated. Panic spread among the crew. "Shut it down!" Zorak shouted, but it was too late. The ship's systems had already started waking up the other vessels. One by one, the ancient warships powered on, their engines roaring to life and their weapons systems activating. "Captain, we need to leave," Rila cried, her voice filled with urgency. But Zorak stood frozen in shock, his eyes fixed on the ships. The realization hit him: they had awakened a sleeping giant. The ships began to move, lifting off the ground and rising into the air. The crew watched in horror as the once dormant fleet transformed into a powerful armada. "What have we done?" Zorak muttered, gripping his scanner tightly. "We have disturbed something that should have stayed buried." As the warships took to the skies, they formed a formation that seemed to echo the past battles they had fought. Zorak quickly called for a retreat. "Get back to the ships! We need to warn the Federation," he ordered, urgency lacing his voice. The crew hurried back to their own ships, the ground shaking as the ancient fleet ascended. They scrambled to their controls, their hearts racing as they prepared for takeoff. But before they could launch, a booming voice filled the air, echoing from the ships. "Humanity has returned. Prepare for deployment." The aliens exchanged terrified glances. "What does that mean?" Rila asked, fear evident in her eyes. Zorak swallowed hard. "It means they are ready for war, and we are not prepared for what comes next." As they blasted off into the sky, Zorak couldn't shake the feeling that they had awakened more than just machines. The ships were linked to a powerful AI that had lain dormant for centuries, waiting for its masters to return. "We need to understand this AI," Zorak said. "It knows we're here, and it sees us as a threat." Back on their ship, Zorak and his team scrambled to gather information. They reviewed the data from the ships, searching for answers. "If we can understand how to control the fleet, we might be able to turn this situation around," Rila suggested. "But we need to be quick. If the AI recognizes us as enemies, it could unleash the full power of these ships." Zorak nodded, feeling the weight of the challenge ahead. "We must learn the history of these warships. If we understand their purpose, we might find a way to communicate with the AI," he replied. As they raced back to the Galactic Federation, the crew felt a mix of fear and determination. They had uncovered a lost piece of history, but now they had also awakened a threat that could change the galaxy forever. The ancient war fleet was back, and humanity's return was just beginning. With time running out and danger looming, Zorak and his team prepared for the next chapter of their journey. A race against time to uncover the truth about the humans and their powerful fleet. Would they be able to tame the ancient machines, or would they face the wrath of a civilization long thought lost? Only time would tell. The Galactic Exploration Federation's ships sped through the stars, a blur of metal and light. Inside, Captain Zorak and his crew were on high alert. The ancient warships had awakened, and their powerful AI was now aware of the aliens' presence. Every crew member felt the weight of the danger they faced. "Captain, we need to inform the Federation about the fleet," Rila said, her eyes glued to the scanner. The screens flickered with information and alarms beeped with urgency. "If we don't act fast, the AI might see us as enemies and unleash its full power." Zorak nodded, determination etched on his face. "Prepare to send a message to the Federation. We need all the help we can get." He took a deep breath, his mind racing with thoughts of what the ancient fleet could do. If the humans built these ships, they must have had incredible technology. We have to learn more about their capabilities. As Rila began sending the message, Zorak glanced at the view screen, showing the dark expanse of space. Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. "What was that?" shouted a crew member, struggling to maintain balance. "Something is coming towards us!" Rila yelled, her voice filled with panic. The screen showed a massive fleet of ancient warships, their engines glowing like fireflies in the darkness. They moved with precision and speed, heading straight for the alien's ship. "Divert course. We need to escape," Zorak commanded, but it was too late. The warships surrounded them, forming a tight circle. Zorak's heart raced as he realized they were trapped. Suddenly, a voice boomed through the ship's communication system. "Galactic Exploration Federation, you have awakened the human war fleet. Prepare for inspection. The tone was deep and commanding, filled with authority. What do we do, Captain? Rila asked, her eyes wide with fear. They could attack at any moment, Zorak thought quickly. We need to show them we are not a threat. Open a channel and communicate our intentions. Rila quickly followed his orders, her hands flying over the controls. As the communication line opened, Zorak took a deep breath. This is Captain Zorak of the Galactic Exploration Federation. We come in peace. We seek knowledge of the ancient fleet and the humans. The response was immediate. You have disturbed our slumber. You will be judged by the AI. Prepare for evaluation. With that, the ships moved closer, and a holographic image flickered into existence above the control panel. The image was of a human, dressed in a strange uniform. The figure spoke, its voice echoing with power. I am the guardian of the human fleet. You will answer for your actions. What is your purpose? Zorak felt a wave of fear wash over him, but he stood tall. We seek to understand the history of the humans and their technology. We did not mean to disturb the fleet. The Guardian paused, studying Zorak with piercing eyes. The humans built this fleet to protect their home. They vanished, leaving behind a powerful legacy. You have awakened the fleet, and now you must prove your worthiness. Before Zorak could respond, the holographic image faded, and the warships powered up their weapons systems. The air filled with tension as Zorak and his crew braced for an attack. Captain, they are locking onto us! Rila shouted, panic rising in her voice. Zorak's heart raced. Get ready to evade! He knew they had to act fast if they wanted to survive. Just as the weapons charged, the Guardian's voice echoed again. You have one chance to demonstrate your intentions. Show us that you are allies, not enemies. Zorak's mind raced. What can we do? He asked, desperation creeping into his voice. We have to prove we mean no harm. Suddenly, Rila had an idea. What if we show them our technology? We can demonstrate our capabilities without weapons. Zorak nodded, realizing that it was a risk they had to take. Let's do it, he said, determination in his voice. Rila, prepare the demonstration. The crew worked quickly, activating their ship's technology. As they powered up their shields and propulsion systems, Zorak prayed the Guardian would see their intentions. Look, Rila shouted. The fleet is watching. The ancient warships paused, their weapons lowering slightly as they observed the aliens. Zorak took a deep breath. This is our chance, he said, hoping for the best. Let's show them what we can do. As they executed their demonstration, the crew held their breath, waiting to see if their actions would lead to peace or provoke further conflict. The fate of their mission, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance as they faced the powerful fleet they had awakened. Would they become allies or enemies? Only time would tell. The crew of the Galactic Exploration Federation held their breath as they completed the demonstration. The ancient warships hovered silently, their weapon systems now deactivated. Captain Zorak looked at Rila and the others, hoping they had done enough to prove their peaceful intentions. Now we wait, he said, his voice steady but filled with anxiety. The Guardian's holographic image reappeared, its expression unreadable. You have shown potential, it said, its voice echoing in the control room. But potential alone does not guarantee survival. The galaxy will respond to your actions. What do you mean? Zorak asked, a knot forming in his stomach. Is there a threat we should know about? The Guardian's eyes glowed with intensity. The awakening of the human war fleet has drawn attention. Others will come to investigate. They may not share your peaceful intentions. Zorak's heart sank. What can we do to protect ourselves? He pressed, urgency rising in his voice. The Guardian paused, seemingly weighing its response. You must prepare. Allies can be found among the stars, but you must first prove you can lead. The fleet will stay under your command until the galaxy's response is clear. With that, the holographic image vanished, leaving the crew in a state of uncertainty. We need to contact the Federation again, Rila said, her fingers flying over the controls. They must know about the fleet and the potential threats. Zorak nodded. Yes, let's send an urgent message. We need all the help we can get. As Rila worked, Zorak turned to the view screen, staring into the vastness of space. He felt a mix of excitement and dread at the unknown that lay ahead. Meanwhile, other ships in the Federation picked up the unusual readings from the ancient fleet. The news spread quickly through the galaxy, reaching different worlds. Rumors of the human war fleet and the aliens who had awakened it traveled like wildfire. Some planets were filled with hope, while others trembled in fear. On a distant world, the leaders of the Krell Empire met in secret. "This is a golden opportunity," one of the advisors declared, his eyes glinting with ambition. "If we can seize control of the human fleet, we will dominate the galaxy. But we must act fast," another advisor warned. "The Galactic Exploration Federation has already made contact. They may try to establish their own control. We cannot allow them to succeed." The leaders agreed, deciding to send a delegation to investigate the situation. Meanwhile, on a lush green planet, the Council of the Wulath observed the unfolding events with caution. "We must not intervene yet," a wise elder said. "Let us watch and see how this unfolds. The awakening of the human fleet may bring unforeseen consequences." Back on Zorak's ship, he watched as Rila sent their urgent message to the Federation. "It's sent," she reported. "Now we wait for a response." The crew gathered around, anxiety hanging in the air. Zorak knew the next few hours would be crucial for their survival. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "What is happening?" Zorak shouted, his heart racing. Rila quickly analyzed the readings. "We have multiple ships approaching. They're not Federation vessels." Zorak's eyes widened. "Get ready for anything! We need to prepare for a possible attack." The crew scrambled, adrenaline pumping through their veins as they readied their defenses. As the unknown ships drew closer, Zorak felt a surge of determination. "We must show them we are strong," he said, rallying his crew. "We will not back down." The ships entered visual range, revealing a fleet of sleek vessels, adorned with the emblem of the Krell Empire. Zorak's stomach churned at the sight. He knew they had come for the human fleet. "Prepare to engage," he commanded, gripping the controls tightly. Just then, a message crackled over the comms. "Galactic Exploration Federation? This is the Krell Empire. We demand to know why you have awakened the human war fleet. You are outmatched and outnumbered. Stand down or face the consequences." Zorak took a deep breath, knowing they had to respond wisely. "This is Captain Zorak. We seek knowledge and peace. The fleet is not a weapon, it is a legacy." The Krell captain responded coldly, "Legacies can be destroyed. Choose wisely, Federation. The galaxy is watching." As the tension in the air grew thicker, Zorak understood the gravity of the situation. Allies were needed and fast. The fate of their mission, and perhaps the future of the galaxy, hung in the balance. Would they stand united against the Krell Empire, or would they be overwhelmed by the weight of the past? The next move would determine everything. The tension in the control room of the Galactic Exploration Federation's ship was electric. Captain Zorak stood at the helm, his heart pounding. The Krell Empire's fleet loomed before them, ready to strike. He could see the fierce determination in his crew's eyes. They were all aware that their next move could change everything. "Prepare the fleet for battle," Zorak ordered, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. "We need to show the Krell that we are not afraid." Rila, his trusted first officer, nodded, her fingers flying over the controls to relay his commands to the ancient warships. As the crew sprang into action, Zorak's mind raced with thoughts of the ancient human legacy. He remembered the Guardian's words, "You must prove your worthiness." This was their moment to honor the humans who had built this fleet and to protect their own future. The Krell captain's voice crackled over the comms once more. "You have made a grave mistake, Federation. Surrender now and your lives may be spared." The threat hung in the air like a dark cloud. Zorak knew they had to respond decisively. "This is Captain Zorak," he replied, his voice firm. "We will not surrender. The human war fleet will defend itself. Prepare for engagement." The ships of the ancient fleet hummed to life, their engines roaring as they powered up. Zorak felt a surge of pride. The humans had designed these ships for war, and now they would honor that legacy. "Ready shields and weapons," he commanded, adrenaline coursing through him. As the Krell ships moved into formation, Zorak's crew readied their defenses. Rila monitored the sensors, her brow furrowed with concentration. "They're deploying fighters!" she shouted, pointing at the view screen. Tiny ships burst from the Krell fleet, darting toward them like angry hornets. "Launch our interceptors," Zorak ordered, watching as the ancient warships responded with precision. The fighters soared into the void, ready to engage the Krell forces. "Stay in formation! Protect the flagship at all costs!" The first wave of Krell fighters closed in, laser cannons blazing. Explosions lit up the dark expanse of space as the two fleets clashed. Zorak's heart raced as he directed his crew through the chaos. "Focus on the lead fighters! We need to gain the upper hand!" The ancient warships responded with an impressive display of power. Their weapons fired in unison, blasting the Krell fighters from the sky. Zorak could hardly believe the strength of the ships. "It's working!" he exclaimed. The crew cheered as their interceptors took down the enemy vessels, but Zorak knew this was just the beginning. "Captain, the Krell flagship is moving into position," Rila warned, her voice urgent. Zorak turned to see the massive Krell command ship powering up its weapons. "We need to take it out," he shouted. "All ships, concentrate fire on the Krell flagship. Let's show them the true power of the human war fleet." As the fleet unleashed a barrage of firepower, the Krell flagship shook under the assault. Zorak felt a wave of hope wash over him. Perhaps they could win this battle and secure their place in the galaxy. But just as victory seemed within reach, the flagship retaliated, firing a massive energy beam toward Zorak's ship. "Brace for impact!" he yelled as the crew prepared for the worst. The beam struck, sending the ship reeling. Alarms blared, and sparks flew as the control panel flickered. Zorak gripped the helm, refusing to give in. "Status report!" he demanded. "Shields at 70%. Rila called out, her voice steady despite the chaos. "We can take another hit, but we need to act fast. Reroute all power to the forward shields and weapons," Zorak commanded. He could feel the tension building within the crew. This was a defining moment. "Prepare to execute a flanking maneuver. We'll hit them where they least expect it." As the crew scrambled to follow his orders, Zorak focused on the view screen. The battle raged around them, but he knew they had to be smart. With a fierce determination, he led the fleet in a bold maneuver, coming at the Krell flagship from the side. "Now!" he shouted as they unleashed a devastating volley of fire. The flagship faltered under the onslaught, its shields flickering as Zorak and his crew pressed the attack. With a final surge of energy, they concentrated their fire on the Krell flagship. The ship erupted in a massive explosion, sending shockwaves through space. Zorak watched in awe as the remains of the Krell fleet began to retreat. "We did it!" Rila shouted, her voice filled with joy. The crew erupted in cheers, relief flooding the control room. They had not only defended themselves, but had also proven the might of the human war fleet. As the stars shimmered around them, Zorak knew this was just the beginning. They had awakened the legacy of the humans, and now it was their responsibility to ensure peace in the galaxy. "Prepare to send a message to the Federation," he said, his heart swelling with pride. "We have much work to do." The galaxy had responded, and they had emerged victorious. The legacy of humanity would live on, stronger than ever.